I am just going to share into my group, and then we will get this show on the road. It's Friday here in Australia. Yay, Friday. All right, where are we? Where are we? I am in the right place, I hope. I am going live in the right place. A bit more light. Okay, while you're waiting for me to stuff around and share, because my internet is just ridiculous, what I'll get you to do is, there's a link underneath, head to the Facebook group, and then you will be able to access the workbook that goes along with this. I'm not going to try and post it on the page or anything like that like last time, because I basically want you in my group, so go check it out. All right, 2 seconds. Done. All right. I'm just going to open up my workbook. It's not 10 o'clock yet. Oh, it's only just 10 o'clock now. All righty. Hello, right on cue. That's awesome. Make sure that you say hello when you come on. I'm very excited to be bringing you this masterclass because niche is something that I'm really passionate about. It doesn't matter who comes to work with me, if they've been a client for just a little while, if they've been coaching for a little while, or they've been coaching for a long while, or maybe they're just getting started out. This is the stuff that I work through with all of my clients because it's just that important. Hey Sally, good to see you on the call. So what I want to say to you is if you've been struggling to cut through or to make the money you know that is possible for you, if you're not making the impact or getting the exposure that you want, then all of it is going to come down to this stuff. Thank you for the love. I am going to be glancing at my workbook. With the last masterclass, I kind of went off on tangents because, and used the workbook as a guide. Today, I'm going to be more deliberate about following the workbook just because niche is such a big topic and I could quite easily go off on many, many tangents, and I want to keep it as focused as possible so that you get the most out of it. I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to overwhelm you because, digging to find your sweet spot and your niche is going to be the hardest work that you ever do when you start your coaching business or you overhaul your coaching business or, whatever stage you're at. But if you're undecided yet about the focus and the direction, and it's all about finding the right niche for you, finding your sweet spot, that is going to be the hardest work that you ever do because it requires so much thinking. And a lot of the time it's because, we're so close to the things that we're so good at. Hey, Brett, that we can't always see what we need to see, right? And so it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort to be thinking through this stuff. So I want to keep it as tight as I can. Excuse me, I'm just going to turn my computer down because I'm getting messages going everywhere. So I'm going to keep it as tight as I can, as focused as I can. So if my eyes are going down and I'm reading from the workbook, it's because I want to stick to the script this time around. But what I want to say as well is that in my experience, the fastest way to get cut through and start making money in your coaching business is to niche, because it brings such clarity and it brings such power in your messaging. So when you are trying to be everything to all people, it's a confusing message for the people that are hearing you. It's just confusing. They can't really get a grasp on what it is that you do. And most coaches will struggle with that. They'll maybe they even have people following them, watching their live streams or commenting on their blogs and things like that. But if people aren't buying, it's usually because they're not quite sure what it is that you do, but they like you, or they're just not clear about your ability to deliver any particular result, and it's because you're not talking about it in the right way usually. So when you niche and you get clear on that stuff, all of that becomes easy. All right, so as I'm saying, I always just let you know at the start of the workbook and at the start of the live stream, I can give you as much as I can in an hour, but it's never going to be a substitute for working with me privately. So if you feel like you need more support, then you can go to my Startup Coach program and have a look at that. Brett's just saying, I must head to a meeting, but I wanted to say I can't wait to hop on board for your guidance. Awesome, great. Enjoy your meeting, Brett, and thanks for popping on. All right, so why niche? Let's start there. So why niche? The reason is simple. Anyone that's on the internet searching for something is there for a specific reason, unless they're just like scrolling through and searching for the meaning of life on Facebook. If they're actually on Facebook and on the internet and they're searching, they're there for a very specific reason, and that is to solve a very real and current challenge that they're facing. They're looking for a solution, they're looking for help. So let's make it easy for you to become the solution for them by showing them that you fully understand these three things. You understand their current pain and the problem that they're facing right now. You understand what they want. You understand the desired outcome. It's like, I get what you want here. I understand the problem. I understand this is where you're at. And I also get that this is where you want to go. This is the thing that you want to achieve. And then the other thing that you need to be able to show them is, and I know how to get you there. I know how to take you from this place of stuck, overwhelmed, not knowing, in the struggle, whatever it is, to this desired outcome. And this is the way that I help you to do that. So that's how we make it easy for people to say yes. That's how we make it easy for people to take the next step and sign up for discovery calls, or that light's a bit crazy, sign up for discovery calls or click buy or whatever it is. If we can show them that we understand their current pain and problem, we know what it is that they want, and we can show them that we know how to get them there, we are ahead of the game. And that's why niching is so important, because when you pick one particular area to focus in, you can do that easily because you get to become an expert. Now, isn't that what you're searching for? So when you're looking for somebody to help you, aren't you searching and looking for the fact that, when you're scrolling and you're looking, you're going to latch on. If there's a phrase or, something that jumps out at you that goes, oh, yeah, this is what I'm struggling with, and this person seems to understand that, then you're going to go back to their website, or then you're going to go, take more deliberate steps to find out more, and then maybe you're going to take some action and sign up or book the discovery call or make an inquiry or whatever that is. You want to know also that the coach that you're looking for sees the problem that you have as no big deal. It's like, people come to me so overwhelmed and freaked out, and it's like, oh yeah, we can fix that. And they're like, what, really? And that's what you want to do for your audience as well. You want them to know that it's no big deal. As far as you see it, it might be a big problem for them because they're in it and they can't see a way out of it. But for you, you're the expert and you're able to say, that's no big deal. I know how to fix this. And we're doing that with our content. And when we niche and we're talking about a specific set of problems to a specific set of people, the depth of our knowledge and the depth of our experience and the depth of the information that we're going to be able to share is so much deeper than if you were to try and be everything to everybody. You just can't do all of that stuff and drill down on your audience's problems to the depth and understanding that you can. You can't do it with the same level of excellence if you're trying to do it for a number of different things. All right. What have I said here? You can't do this with the same level of excellence if you're trying to be all things to all people because you're scared of missing out. I'm going to talk about that fear. There is that big fear about, what if I niche? What if I pick this niche and then I'm missing out on all these other customers or all these other clients? We're going to talk about that because I know that's common. It's usually the first thing that people say to me when I suggest that they niche. By the way, as I'm going along, if you've got questions, you've got comments, anything like that, be sure to share them. I am just going to check the Facebook group for a moment because I know Some of you will be wanting to join, yes, there are some people that want to join Secret Coach's business, so they can grab the workbook. Get started to build a solid client base. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, so just letting people in. All right, back to the workbook. So, why niche in a nutshell? The reasons I niche and the reasons that I encourage my clients to niche are you get to fully understand your market's problems. I know coaches' problems and challenges and struggles more than anybody, because I've been coaching and in the coaching space for, it's coming up to 30 years, which is a long freaking time. So I've been in this space for a long time. I'm not just working with clients, coaching clients. I have my free community, so I'm engaging with coaches in there. I set it up that way. And I also, the clients that I work with and just the stuff that I see, because I'm hanging around with coaches all the time. I understand your problems more than you know and understand them yourselves. I understand and know and see what is possible for you more than you could ever know that. But you will see glimpses of it and you'll know little bits of what you want. But when you come to me, I'm going to show you what is truly possible for you. And I'm going to help you to understand the problems that you're having and why you're having them. And I can do that because all I do these days is work with coaches and coaches' problems. I'm solving coaches' problems all day, every day. So I get to be good at that. I get to fully understand the market, and that's what I want for you to in your market. Next, you're able to create solutions-based programs your market are going to say yes to, because they're searching for a problem they're searching because they've got a problem in the first place. When you make it easy for them to recognize that you understand the problem, you know what they want, and you know how to fix it, it becomes very easy for your potential clients to say yes. The next thing is your marketing and messaging becomes very easy. Doing this masterclass today, doing the one I ran last week, doing the live streams I've done every day for the last 2 weeks, feels so easy for me because I'm in my sweet spot. I know the problems. I know what you want. I know the things that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I know the things that I've struggled with and my clients have struggled with. I never run out of content, and I never run out of ways to bring value to you guys, because I'm just so deeply embedded in my sweet spot and my niche that stuff comes easily to me. Again, I want that for you too. You will become an expert in your field. So you want to and in tandem, you'll become known as the coach that does the thing, right? So you want to become known for the thing that you do and the results that you produce. What we don't want to become famous, look, I don't want to be a bitch, but what I don't want ever to be famous for is, my car, or the holidays that I go on, or the clothes that I wear, or the handbag that I have. I like to have those things and all that sort of stuff, but that's not what I want to become famous for, or, have my profile built around. It's around the work that I do and the results that I produce for my clients. That's the sort of fame I'm looking for. That's the sort of recognition I'm looking for. And I want to be known as the coach that does this thing. And that's what I want for you as well, to be the coach that does the thing, so that people know that this is the person you go to if you have this particular problem. All right, so you become known for doing that thing. And when you become known for doing that thing, that is when your business is going to take off. And it doesn't, here's a myth, right? People think that it has to be slow. It has to be a slow thing for this to happen. It actually doesn't. Because when we get that clarity piece in place, and and you're able to go, oh my God, why didn't I think of this? Yes, this is so easy for me. And yep, let's just package it up. Once we do that, that's the fast work. And when that clarity is in place, then you're like, let me at the messaging, because I know what I'm talking about now. I've got all these things I want to talk about. And that's when you pick up speed really quickly. And that's when you build momentum. And that's how you become known for being the thing, and you start making money pretty quickly. There are never any guarantees, no promises. Sometimes you think it's the thing, and then it's like, it's not quite the thing. Maybe it's the other thing. And sometimes it takes a few goes at it. Be prepared for that. That's okay. You're not expected to get this right straight away, but you've got to start somewhere. I'm going to give you some examples of really good niches. So me, of course. So I'm basically a business coach and a business strategist who just works with coaches and those who want to become coaches. And really my specialty is around helping coaches find their sweet spot, find their niche, package up programs that are in their sweet spot so that it's a no-brainer for their clients, and then content marketing, how to share their messaging in a way that inspires people to work with them, to sign up, to make the money. So that's kind of my specialty. Paul, one of my other clients, he's a martial arts success coach. So he's a coach, a success coach, but his niche is martial arts. And that's because that's his specialty. That's what he's great at. He's shown that he has been a very successful operator and continues to be a very successful operator of large martial arts schools. And his niche is martial arts schools of a certain level. Because he charges a certain price point, he's not going to be coaching school owners who have like 10 students. You know, that's just not going to be his niche. And I'm going to talk about people that lie outside of your niche in a moment, but so, you know, when I say never, you never say never, but ideally and usually the clients that he will take on are people that, or martial arts schools that are already at a reasonable level of success and they want to go next level. Rena is a new coach that I've just started to work with, and she's a sales coach for the beauty industry. That's the industry that she knows. She knows how to get beauty salons and you know, of that ilk to sell better so that they're making more money from their sales, and their staff are trained really well in sales, and so they're not leaving money on the table, and how to tighten up their sales game. I've coached a number of people to become salon coaches. It's a great industry. Shan is another client, and she's a passion project manager. So she is a coach, but her strength is her strength and her niche is basically whatever your passion project is, whether it's write a book, whether it's start a business, whether it's you know, to move your family to the other side of the world. What is your passion project? Is it record an album? Is it, you know, whatever it is? Her job is to help the person get clear on that, extract what they're really passionate about, and then she does the research and support and the, you know, the admin-y, whatever she needs to do to support them along the way so that they only get to focus on the bit that they're genius at, which is fantastic. How many people have a passion project that never gets seen or achieved because, you know, all the bits that they're not good at or not sure of hold them back? And so she's like, I'm just going to be ahead of you, clearing the way so you can keep doing the things that you need to do, that you love to do, that you want to do, so that you can achieve this thing. And then Marette was a coach that went through my 5K formula program, and she's a relationship breakthrough coach. So she's a relationship coach who works with couples who need to have a breakthrough. So it's like make or break sort of stuff. And she does great work. She talks very freely about the fact that she was at that place with her partner at one point, and the work that they did to, instead of just go their separate ways, which is easy for people to do, to be able to mend their relationship and to get it back on track and to be better than ever. And don't people want that? You know, they don't always want to dump their partners. They want to work out how to be better in the relationship, and so she helps them to orchestrate some sort of breakthrough. So that's the different type of niching that can, you know, they're all coaches, all different coaches, but they've chosen their particular niche. All right, so be thinking about yours. Now, reasons coaches fear niching. The main fear they have is that they think that if they commit to a niche, they're going to miss out on all these other potential customers that usually are not knocking on their door anyway right now, right? So they're like, they come to me, or they message me and they're like, I don't have any clients, I can't find any clients. And I'm like, oh, we need to niche, but what about if I miss out on all these clients? And it's like, you don't have any. So how about we just do it my way for a little bit, and then we can worry about all those other clients you're going to miss out on. Honestly, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be in the Bahamas right now, you know, with a glass of champagne doing this, maybe. Here's the thing I want you to hear. You need to stand for something to stand out amongst the noise and competition. And how many life coaches are there, for example? How many freaking life coaches are there? There are lots of life coaches. Most coaches that come out of regular coaching training are life coaches. And so that's easy to get lost against in the masses. But if you look at Sean, who's a passion project manager, or Moret, who's a relationship breakthrough coach, they're life coaches. They've just chosen an area of expertise to focus on because they're passionate and excited about that particular area of coaching. So they will stand out for all the right reasons, and that's what you want to do too. And I also want to remind you that sometimes niching can feel narrow. It can feel like you're being hemmed in, constrained, all of those sorts of things. I've never felt that way, but I know people feel like that. But I want to remind you that while a niche is only an inch wide, it is miles deep. It's miles deep. And trying to catch, 1,000 fish in a massive net where you only catch, one or two, you're better to drill. I'm mixing my metaphors and I'm like screwing it up royally, but you know what I'm talking about. Niche is, it's only an inch wide, but it's miles deep. What I mean by that is, if you can tap into that niche and you know where to find those people, you will have an endless supply of those people because they're all hanging out in the same area. Scattergun messaging and marketing and offering all sorts of unrelated programs that confuse people are a recipe for staying broke in your coaching business. Honestly, if you're confused, your people are going to be confused, and they're not going to whip out their credit card. They're not going to be in a rush to work with you, because anybody that's confused is not going to hand out thousands of dollars to work with a coach. The coaches that I work with, their packages are all in the thousands. We work on high ticket coaching because I believe that the more you charge, the more likely you are to get a result for your clients, because they've paid you really well enough for you to feel like, I'm going to put the effort in because I'm being paid really well for this. And you're going to put the effort in. They're going to be more committed because they've invested more money. The more money somebody invests, the more committed, the more seriously they're going to take it. That's why I've had programs that have been super cheap, and people have just dismissed them, or they've signed up for them and never done them. And then they've come to work with me for private coaching, and I've said, you've got access to that program, go back and do the first module. And they're like, oh my God, that's the best program ever. I'm like, I know. Did you not look at it before? And they're like, no, because it was only like a couple $100, so I didn't think it was, I'm like, but you spent the money and you didn't look at it. So we need to charge more for our services so that people make a bigger commitment, because the more committed they are, the more likely they are to get a result. All right. Now, I also want to touch on the thing that I spoke about earlier, which is where I mentioned that, what did I say? What if you get, what if there are people that want to work with you that aren't in your niche? That's going to happen. Like, you've got to give people credit for putting two and two together and saying, right, okay, so if this person does this type of coaching, I sit outside of that niche, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to help me too. Like, people aren't dumb. I only market to women. My website's pink. Everything's very pretty and pink and all the rest of it, but I've always got male clients that I'm working with, always, because they get that if I can coach women, I can coach men. It's just that I want my marketing to be simple. I want my marketing to be easy for me. I want to be able to speak to the people that I want to speak to. I want to speak to those problems. I want to speak to, I want to have fun with those people. And usually for me, that's a group of women. But there are men in my Secret Coaches business community. There are men that follow on my Instagram and business page. And there are male clients that I'm working with right now. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to get those other people. It just means that we're not consciously marketing to them. We're consciously marketing to a specific niche because it's the easiest way to get heard and noticed. And besides that, I want you to, if you're in that place where you're not where you want to be, Stop worrying and stuffing around with the what ifs. What if this and what if that? What if I pick this niche and then, all these other people want to work with me? You actually still get to decide whether you say yes to that or no or whatever. But my advice is you've got to start somewhere. So make some money first, create some success first, doing this one thing, whatever it is. And we're going to unpack that a little bit more in a minute. But make some money, create some success. Create success, make some money doing it my way. And then if you decide, you know what, I want to be able to, service this other niche as well, then do that. But do it my way first so that you can actually have some success, and then you'll be able to have some choice about what you do next. Alrighty, is that a deal? All right, next, how to find your niche. All right, I do work differently to most coaches. Most coaches are usually going to say to you, okay, first thing we need to do is work out who is your ideal customer avatar. They're going to want you to spend a lot of time on it. They're going to want you to tell them what car do they drive, what sort of latte do they drink, what magazines are they reading, what television shows are they watching, what movies are they watching, all that sort of stuff. And it's like, no, I find that so... I'm going to come back to that, Rita. I find that so freaking tedious and arse about, to be honest. So if you work with me or on any of my programs, I promise you that I'm not going to ask you to do that. Because at the end of the day, I'm more concerned with you and your specific and particular skills and strengths, because I want you to create something that you love, that is a no-brainer, easy thing for you to do. Then we work out from there who's a good fit for this thing. Because that way, I know you're in your zone of genius, and finding a market for it is not difficult. I want you 100% in your sweet spot, because when you're there, you'll love your work, you'll love the people you work with, because you'll always be able to deliver a result. And coaches love their work and feel good at their work when they're getting results. The reason coaches go back into their shell and don't market themselves actively is because they're not getting results for their clients and they feel like they're failing. So how do you find your niche? 1, create a coaching program based on your sweet spot. So we start there. What are you good at? What's a no-brainer thing what's a problem that you're good at solving? Explore who's a good fit for this product, and then determine if this market is filled with people, 1, you can access easily via social media. They're cashed up. You want to make sure these people have money. And most importantly, you love these people because you're going to be hanging out with them a lot. Just like I do with you guys. You know I love hanging out with you guys, and it's never a chore. All right, I'm going to read, actually I'll go on my laptop to read that. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Actually, I don't know if you're in my group or on my page, so I'll just go here. If there's actually no word, group, category of people I wish to attract, but more a personality trait or a common desire that they have that I want to reach out or be seen to, that's totally fine. It was Rita, wasn't it? Rita? Yeah, it doesn't have to be... yeah, it can be that. It can be, there are a lot of businesses that are built around the word fierceness, fierce leaders, fierce whatever. So it can be around that personality trait. Fearless women entrepreneurs, for example. Or it could be a common desire, absolutely. If they all want to achieve a particular thing. But even then, I would encourage you to see if you can bring it in and narrow it. For example, let's say weight loss, right? That's a common trait. A lot of people want to lose weight, but it's a big market, it's massive, and your message will get lost because there are so many. Now, because I just turned 50, my Facebook feed is filled with ads that are targeting weight loss and perimenopause, or weight loss and menopause and stuff like that, because they know that's where I'm at. And, if I wasn't already sorted with that stuff, I'd be clicking on that stuff because it's so relevant to me. Whereas just the normal weight loss stuff or wellness stuff that goes through my feed, it's like, I'm not interested. You know, I'm not interested in that. But I'm interested in something that's relevant to me, even though it's common. So I hope that makes sense. So the answer is yes. But if it's about a common desire, I would be wanting to go, okay, it's common desire. So who within this common desire is going to be a niche that I can play in? That's what I'd be looking at. All right, so we're getting down to the workbooky part of it. For you to go ahead and do, oh my God, I'm pushing buttons by mistake. Okay, so you can go and do this in your own time. Hopefully you've scheduled time in after this call so that you can dive into this right now. Otherwise, maybe come back, watch the replay, and then dive in. But the next section of the workbook is about applying niche to your coaching programs. So I want you to ask yourself, what is a very real problem in the market right now that you know that you can easily solve? So how do you know what that is? Like, where do you even start, right? Look for the thing that you do naturally. So what are the conversations, and I know you might have heard this a million times, but it's actually because it's a thing. The people that you have conversations with that you walk away from and they're like, thank you so much. You know, you helped me so much with that. Or, you know, be thinking about something that you do automatically and naturally that people are commenting on or complimenting you for or saying thank you for, because there's going to be clues in that. So what is a very real problem in the market you know you can solve it easily? Pick one. Then what is your promise? What is your outcome? So let's just say, let's just use that weight loss product again. I signed up with a lady who's gorgeous, and when I was really struggling with weight gain and symptoms with perimenopause, happy to say I'm like totally symptom free now, and it's all to do with my diet. I'm not taking any, I was taking Chinese herbs, don't need them, don't need anything. It's all to do with my diet. And so the reason that I signed up with her is her program, the promise was all the things that I was looking for. It was a simple way to get my hormonal symptoms under control through nutrition. And it was very structured and set out. It was an elimination diet, then a reintroduction diet, and but the process was very simple and it made sense for me. And her promise, her outcome was all over her website, which is basically, these are the results that my people are getting. You do these things, this is your problem, like you're suffering perimenopause, the weight's not going, you're having hot flushes, you like all those things. And what I know you want is to feel like you're in the prime of your life. And the way that I help you to get there is to do these things. And it's like, sold, easy, done. So what is your promise? What is the outcome that you can promise over and over and over again? How are you going to take your people from problem to solution? So what's the problem? What's the promise? And then what are your steps? What's your process for taking people from there to there? So when you can explain your process, you don't have to give everything away, but when you can say, right, I know you're here and I know you want to be here. And the first thing that I do with you when you come and work with me is this thing. And then we do this thing, and then we do this thing, and then we do this thing, and that will take you there. If people can understand that you know the problem, you know what they want, and you have a way of solving it, it becomes very easy if they like you. All right, so 3 questions. What is a real problem? What's your promise? How are you going to take people? So step it out. What are the steps? Because you need to know you can solve this problem and you can articulate it. A lot of the time, that stuff is the stuff that you do unconsciously, and you have to unpack it. You have to go, there have been so many clients that I've worked with and they're like, I don't even know how I do what I do. And I'm like, okay, so a client comes in, what's the first thing that you do with them? And they'll be like, well, I do this thing, blah, blah, and like lots of words. And I'll be like, oh, so you do this. And they're like, oh my God, yes, it's that. Okay, so what's the next thing that you would do? And we just go through that until we have a process mapped out. So what is your process? And then once you've got that, you've got the problem, you've got the outcome, you've got the process, I want you to think about who's a great fit for this particular product. Who's going to be a good fit? Then Are these people easily accessible on social media? Most of the stuff that I teach is about messaging and getting your message out there and being of service and providing value and always having a way for people to work with you, whether they buy a program that's evergreen or a group program, or whether it's a private coaching package. But are these people easily accessible on social media? Because you're going to be wanting to be visible a lot to be able to get in front of these people. If they're not accessible on Facebook or your social medias, maybe it's LinkedIn, which is a social media. So if you can't access them that way, then it's going to be more difficult. So if you're the sort of person that likes to work with B2B or corporate or things like that, I'm not your coach. That's not my specialty. I'm more about helping coaches work with people who are, and seeking people who are decision makers, like the individual person. So the woman or the man who is in a position to solve their particular problem by hiring you. That's the work that I do. From my perspective, if you're working with me, that's a question that I'm asking you. Are they easily accessible? Because we want to be able to target them very specifically with our messaging and also with our targeted traffic being driven to your messages. Are they cashed up and able to afford your program? If you're in my Facebook group, scroll the feed, and if you're not, head over there and go in there. Oftentimes I will put a question in my Facebook group and say, I've got free time, I'm going to answer a question, so fire away. And one of the women that came onto the call yesterday had a call about, we spoke about her niche, and my feeling around that niche is that they really weren't going to have a lot of money, and they maybe weren't in the right thinking space to be thinking about getting help. And so, I would never say don't do it, but it's like, these are the things that I would want you to consider if you're a client of mine. And so, she's going to have to go back to the drawing board and think about, okay, these people probably aren't in a position to afford what I want to do at the price that I would need to charge to feel valued. So it's like, okay, everything's still the same. You just got to look for another market, one that you can be excited about. So make sure your market's cashed up and able to afford your program. And then, what do you know about this particular market? When you start writing, write dot points, for example, you'd be surprised at how much you know, because there's probably been a lot playing in the background that you haven't been paying attention to. What makes these people tick? What keeps them up at night? What are they stressed about? What are they dreaming about? Really get to know them, because the more you know them, the more able you are to speak to them with your content, and the more able you are to solve the problem that they have. And are these people you want to hang out with? Because I've just seen I've left a page on the last book. Oh my God, I'm freaking hopeless. All right, going back to this. Are these people you want to hang out with? Are these people you want to hang out with? Because, I hang out with you guys a lot. I'm live on my page a lot. I'm in my group all the time. I'm coaching you. Some of my friends are coaches. I'm hanging around coaches all the time because I love you guys. I love the work that we do. I love the impact that we have. When I was in Hong Kong with my girlfriends in March, two of us were coaches. Marette is actually, she's a friend of mine, but she's also been a client of mine as well. And we were talking, and we were both tearing up about the impact of our work. And the other women that were there were like, oh my God, we want to be coaches as well. Because, we just feel so strongly for the work that we do and the impact that we have and the changes that we create in people's lives. And, so I love hanging out with you guys. I wouldn't want to martial arts people are my other favorite people. And there's a lot of similarities actually, but they're the people that I want to be hanging out with all the time. So you want to make sure that the people that you're going to be hanging around with and doing business with are people that you love, because you're interested in, you're excited about their results, you're excited about many of those things, because that's where you're going to be spending your time. One of my other clients messaged me last week, I think it was, and she just had this amazing breakthrough result with a client that she'd been working with for a little while, and it was huge. And she didn't divulge what the breakthrough was, obviously, because confidentiality, but she just spoke about the impact that it had on this person's life. And it was like the coolest thing ever. And she said, you know what, this is this is your result too, because of the work that you do with me and have me working in this way. I was never working in this way before. I was not having this level of impact before because I wasn't packaged in this way. My clients weren't as committed as they are now. And it made me feel so good. And it reminded me that, yeah, the work that I do with my clients and having them be better coaches and work in a better, more expanded way means that their clients are getting a better coach. And then their clients, families or whatever, maybe their clients are getting a better result as well. So yeah, you've got to really fall in love with your market, and that's probably as important as choosing the niche. It's like fall in love with them, be in love with them, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. You can feel how much I love you guys, and you can feel how invested I am in your success, and I want it for you, and I'm rooting for you, and I'm cheering you on, and all those things. And that's one of the reasons that I'm successful as well. People know my passion. They know that I care. And you need to be able to show that you care. You need to care, and then you need to be able to show that you care. Because if you can do that, you know, people are going to relate to that. They're going to resonate with that, and they're going to be so excited to work with you. Now, we're just going to skip the next page, because I always copy my workbooks and then I just adjust them, and sometimes I leave bits in there, and so there's a spare page from last week's. So we're ignoring that, just use that for notes. And then I want to quickly talk to you about my Startup Coach program, which is at the back of the workbook, so you'll be able to click on that link, but I'm also going to add it into the feed now so that you can have a little look-see if you want to. But this program it's 4 weeks. There is an option to be able to work privately with me through the program, or which is obviously a little bit more expensive, or there is also an option for you to be able to, sorry, it's not happening, just purchase the program and have access to me via the live group calls. Now, the live group calls, this morning, there are now 8 people on that program. This morning, I had 1 person on the call. Last week, I had 1 person on the call, because the people that have signed up so far have all got private coaching available to them because they purchased that package. And so they're not really utilizing the group calls very much. So the group calls aren't very busy. So it's a great time to get on board, because you are going to have, there, it's in the comments, you are going to have a lot of access to me. So it's basically the program is 4 of the fundamental modules that I think you need to get your business, your coaching business up and running fast. So it's called the Startup Coach Success Accelerator. And it's take your coaching business from 0 to thriving fast. That's my promise. And the way that I'm going to get you there is I want you to become a confident coach. So claiming your confidence as a coach, setting a clear success path for your clients, you know, that mapped out process that we spoke about. I'm going to guide you through that. I want you to know that you know how to get your clients there, but also I have client worksheets. So if you're a new coach, or if you're somebody who's been successful and in a certain career and you want to become a coach and you're like, I'm not quite sure how to run the sessions, that's covered in there. I've given you client worksheets, so that this is what you do in session 1. This is what you do in session 2 for a 12-week coaching package. So that's included. You will have that. You can rebrand it. It's yours. Setting clear client boundaries and expectations. As a newbie coach, it's easy to walk into problems without even knowing you're going to walk into them, and you can set yourself up for it to be hard work from the beginning. So I'm going to show you how to avoid doing that, and just why those things are important for you and for your clients. And the Confident Coaches Toolkit. You have to go inside to see what that is. Module 2 is all of your systems. So I know for a lot of coaches, they worry about, they don't have a proper client agreement. They don't have, they're not sure about how to, payment. If they want to go and do a group program, how do they create, payment system so that they can have recurring payments and things like that. So all of the stuff, all of the systems that I use are in there, and they're all ready for you to go, and all you need to do is rebrand them. So that's that second module. The third module is packages and selling. So it's simple 5 and 6 figure coaching models. So these are models I've run in my business and that I have my clients run that work pretty much every time. Creating a compelling coaching package, pricing your package to match your market, speaking your ideal client's language, and discovery call mastery and selling with confidence. I want you to feel like when you get those discovery calls, when somebody books that in with you, you are going to nail it. My conversion rate is, it's close to 100%. And there's a reason for that. And I talk about why that is and how I set that up. So that you're not wasting time doing discovery calls. Coaches don't love doing discovery calls that go nowhere. If you do 10 discovery calls and you're lucky to sign up one client, we lose the will to live with that stuff. Nobody's got time for that. So I show you how to make sure your conversions are good. And then the fourth one is the money-making step. So it's proven strategies for selling your coaching package. And this is stuff that I've been doing for years. It's not the latest, greatest, whatever. These are solid strategies that I've always used. I'm going to set you a discovery call challenge because I need to push you to do certain actions to get certain calls booked in so that you make money. It's my priority that you're making money by the end of the program. And then your ongoing strategy for generating leads and sales, which is super important. I'm going to show you how to get off the ground fast and pick the low-hanging fruit, and then we're going to work on your ongoing strategy so that leads are not a problem in your business, because leads are everything in your coaching business. So right now, I've got an introductory rate on that program. There's a paid in full of $2,000. These are US dollars. I charge US dollars because all of my expenses are in US dollars. So that's just the way that it is. And a lot of my clients come from the US and the UK and Canada. So one payment, $2,000. There's also 4 weekly payments of $550. Now that is with the coaching. So if you want to coach with me, you get 2 coaching sessions along with the group calls, along with the content. So if your budget isn't quite at $2,000, you can buy the entire program and access the live group calls where I'm coaching you on the group calls. As the paid in full is $597 US, and there are 4 weekly payments of $177 US dollars as well. I potentially will put an extended payment plan on that one, not on the coaching based one. But if you are interested in that, get on it. It's a great program. I've got a bunch of people going through it at the moment. It's a really good program. It's a really good program. So even, pardon me, if you've been a coach for a little while, but you're not getting the traction that you want, it's still worth doing this program because you're going to revisit those fundamentals and basics and help you to get clear again. Sometimes it just needs that energy, right? And that package at $2,000, you can't coach with me. You can't buy a coaching package with me at $2,000. You just can't. My minimum coaching package is $5,500. So it's a great way to be able to get some coaching with me at a reduced rate and have access to that program. So you will always have access to the program. Your coaching component ends after 4 weeks, or your live call component ends after 4 weeks, but you still have access to the program for as long as you need it. Anyway, that is it. If you've got questions about the program, shoot me a message. If you're not in my Facebook group, make sure that you get in there, download the workbook so that you can get in there and do that work, and have a fabulous weekend. I've got a few things, but then it's tools down for me this afternoon. It's been a big week. But it's been an awesome week. It's been great. I hope your week has been good too. Have a great weekend, and I will be back next week. Bye.